I'm excited to share with you my content process. A lot of it is inspired by Sabrina and by Sandy Lee and everyone else, and there's still lots of work to do on it. And if you want to support me, I'll put my socials later, but I love my YouTube, would love some love for my YouTube channel and my Instagram, because Instagram is so hard. And I would appreciate if you guys follow me by the end. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Ronnie's done a website. Okay. So everyone here, has everyone worked with skills? I'm really curious. Is someone, you don't have to answer if you know skills, but if you don't know skills, I'm curious because then I can explain them a little bit more. So feel free to put that in the chat. I'll check a little bit later. Yeah, of course you use skills every day. Yeah, they're the best. Okay, great. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. You can see all my millions of tabs. And I have no problem with answering questions. So if at any point, I'm not going to be checking the chat all the time. So if at any point you want to unmute yourself and ask a question or raise your hand, and I'll tell you to go ahead and ask me, feel free to jump in. Okay, so I created this it's a web page that breaks down my content creation process. So it starts every week with a Friday morning trigger that from Claude Code that triggers an update of my content hub. I'll show you that after. First, I'm going to walk you through the workflow, and then I'll show you the actual content hub. I'm sure it's very similar to what other people are creating. It's not like I'm inventing the wheel or anything. So the content hub is where I get information from like people like, let's say Sabrina, but many other creators too. It shows me which posts are driving more engagement than the average. So which are like have the more viral context on average. And then I can select from the content hub posts to copy, because everyone is always like in the beginning, just copy what's working. So that's the premise of how this starts. But I also read a lot of content and I see newsletters and I see things. And so I want to be able to bring that in too. I don't want to always just copy people. Like that's not really what I want to do. At the end of the day, I do agree that it is faster to get followers, to just do what works, obviously. But I like a little more diverse content. So I like to have different sources. Then I select, I pick the topic from either, I have an Obsidian content vault. It can come either from Obsidian or it can come, like I said, from my content hub. Either way, I select what content I want to create. So the actual workflow is here in Obsidian or from the hub. So I can either put content that I want to create in Obsidian as an idea if it's not in the content hub, or it can come from the content hub. And then in Claude Code, I run skills. One skill is called is scripting. Basically, it runs a script for the video. It runs the captions, all of that, like the thumbnail prompt, everything. That's one skill. It's called captions. It does SEO. It does every caption for every single social media platform. And the reason why I get a transcript is so I can record it. So it like pulls the transcript from an existing video, if that's what I've started, and I record it in Riverside. So that's my tech stack is here: Claude Code, Riverside, Obsidian, and then two skills, Remotion and Hyperframes. And the data for the content hub comes from the Apify API. So you have like a free tier of the Apify API. So if you scrape like if you pull data like in your content hub once a week, it's free. If you want to pull daily, and if you want to have like a crazy list of, people whose posts you're pulling, then you'll start paying. But if you just want to do like basic, list of posts and creators once a week, you can do it for free. And then once I record it, I edit the first pass in in Riverside. Riverside is great. Once you record, it will, within minutes, once you get the file when you record it, within minutes, it's going to actually like clean it up. It's going to remove all the silences, ahs, all of that. So I really like Claude Code can do it, but it's going to take longer. Like honestly, editing videos with Claude Code right now, because it is video, it's very heavy, it is big files, you're on your computer, it takes a lot of time. So Riverside, like I wouldn't get rid of it yet, because it's so efficient to do the first pass of editing. And I saw Sabrina had posted in school recently that she uses Riverside too. Someone had asked the question, and there's other options. There's the script, Riverside, but there's a bunch of them that do the same thing. And now they're starting to actually connect to Claude Code. So now what I have to do, once I record it in Riverside, I have to export it once it's like first pass editing, and then put it in a folder. So Claude Code can actually now create overlays like animations and run the Remotion skill or the Hyperframe skill. But eventually I will directly tell Claude Code, just go in Riverside and pull this video. yourself or just edit it directly in Riverside. So they're in the process of doing that. They kind of have it rolled out, but that's something that's happening. It's kind of like Blotato. You can connect to Blotato directly and, manipulate Blotato or make it to do things from Claude Code. So it's the same for the videos. So once I record it, export it, after it's edited for what I want it to be, basically long form. And then the cool thing about Riverside is that it breaks up the long form into short form. It's not perfect, but it will do it automatically for you. And then I will run overlays, what I call overlays, but it's really running the Remotion skill, which basically creates animations and like motion graphics on top of your video. I usually give it, at 10 seconds, do this and so on. But my goal is that it becomes smart enough that it understands, like it looks at the video and figures it out on its own, where I want the beats, where I want the motion graphics, what it should be. I shouldn't have to tell it. Like that's the ultimate goal. And another cool skill, so this is like for the animations, and I'll show you what that looks like after. Another cool skill is hyperframes, and that one is more to create like frames, like frame presentations or like frame reels. A frame is just like, I'm just trying to explain video because I'm not a video expert. A frame is just like, let's say a slide. And then when you combine all the, let's say 4 slides, it becomes a reel, a video. So hyperframes will do that for you. And there's actually Sabrina had a really good newsletter and post on hyperframes. And I kind of basically played around with her prompts and then figured out what, I still need to work on it, but I can show you what it looks like. Because I literally just started playing around with it, and video does take time to render, so there's a lot of waiting time to see what things look like and change them. And then once it's rendered, right now I'm still doing this manually, but I will definitely be getting Blotato like next week. This week I'm just resting from the exam, but next week my goal is to really start posting 3 times a day, grow my audience, and I want to automate like the editing part, making it nice, making it different, making it dynamic, making it like people actually want to, it looks still pretty professional. I definitely have work to do on the formatting. What is really great, if you ever want to use these skills like Remotion and Hyperframes, ideally you give it examples of other creators or formatting examples of what it wanted to look like, because otherwise it's going to spend a lot of time. Like what it starts with is always very basic, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Ideally, just give it what you want it to look like and tell it to imitate something that already exists. So what is a skill? I was trying to explain that to a friend today who uses ChatGPT and Claude in his sales, like he's a B2B sales guy. And he even figured it out. He's like, oh, it's like training an employee, right? You hire an employee because it has a certain skill set. So when you create a skill, which is literally just a text file that gives instructions to Claude or ChatGPT, because ChatGPT now has skills too, you are basically in a text file giving instructions on how to do something for you. And ideally, a skills file will give examples, of what you want the output to look like, and name it in a way that Claude knows. So let's say I have a caption skill. So every time I go in and say, okay, run captions, it knows to run this process. So it knows to create for this particular video or piece of content, all of this, 8 to 10 hooks, YouTube SEO pack, per channel captions, hook, and CTA. So every time there's a process, and this is how I want it done for my content, right? Because there's a million creators out there, probably more than a million, and everyone is doing their thing their way. So a skill is just saying, do this my way, because if you ask it to run captions in the beginning for you, it's just going to give you the most generic thing in the world. It's not going to think of hashtags. It's not going to think of a ton of things. So when I run my caption skill, I'm getting this whole package in Obsidian. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is Obsidian, and Obsidian is just a text app, like a note app. It's free. You download it to your computer, and it's just a really, this looks like a mess right now, so don't get overwhelmed, but it's just an easy way to organize content that you can actually see that and tell Claude to go get it. Like if I tell Claude, go in my Obsidian vault and find this, this page, it's going to do it in 2 seconds. The connection between Claude and Obsidian is seamless. So you use it as like Notion, as like a data bank, or you can create what people call your business brain, which to me is just a set of skills to run your processes. So essentially, you can even have skills living here. You can write your processes here, and you can say, hey, every time I run the caption skill, go in Obsidian and pull the caption page and run the skill. You can put a skill in Google Drive. You can put a skill in a Word file. You can put a skill pretty much anywhere that Claude can connect. So let's say if you're a team, you're not going to put skills on your computer, right? Because usually Claude lives on your computer. But if you're a team, they have to be on GitHub. So GitHub is usually where, when we are actually doing projects, that's where everything should end up, not just on your computer, but we don't have to get that deep on that right now. So let's say I wanted to show you an example of one of these. So this is created by Claude Code when I run the caption skill. Let's see if this is a good. Okay. So this is a YouTube video that I'm copying from the transcript. Claude has a seamless integration with YouTube. It's free. The YouTube API, like you have a Google account, you have access to the YouTube API. You don't have to pay anything. It pulls all the data seamlessly. If you tell it, go, connect to YouTube, pull the transcript for this YouTube video, all of that, it's going to do it for you. So that's an example. Skills 101. I created a video on Skills 101, what a Claude skill actually is. Caption package, YouTube, title options. You can do A/B testing in YouTube if you want, the description for the post, the hashtags. These are all my links that I always like. It's the same thing for YouTube. Then the tags when you're doing it, hooks, then LinkedIn post, TikTok and Facebook, Instagram, thumbnail prompt for ChatGPT, because I get all my thumbnail images from ChatGPT because it's so much better than, so I just copy paste this in ChatGPT. So I already have kind of like everything here and I can keep adding to that. So this is like when I run my caption skill, it gives me this whole package and you can keep changing it. When you work with skills, there's two ways to start with skills. You can either take, let's say you already have a process that you want to automate. So then you start with your files, the process you already have. Now we even have the option in the desktop app. And again, if you're not sure about what I'm saying at any point in time, just stop me. But I know this is new because I was telling my friend today, I was like, he wants to teach Claude or ChatGPT to basically fill out a PowerPoint report for him. And so now if I can find it, I know there's a place, I just haven't tested it yet. Here, it's like this plus, skip the repeat work. Record your screen while you do a task once. Claude turns the recording into a skill it can run again. Record a skill. Click. So it's going to start recording. I'm not going to do it right now, obviously, because I'm sharing my screen. This is pointless. But if you've never done a skill before, you can come here, start recording, and go and do what you're trying to do. And it's going to record your screen, where your mouse went, what you clicked on, all of that. And it's going to, when you're done, document it in a skill file. They're called skill files. So let me show you. If I just go on let's do desktop. And I just write skill and you'll see what happens. There you go. Skills. The annoying thing with skills, and I finally learned why that is because of the exam, is that the name of the skill is the actual like folder name. So let me see if I can find. So this is actually, I just clicked on my content caption skill. So this is the file. It's called the skill MD and it's just a text file. MD stands for markdown, but it's still a text file. So let me open this just to show you what it is. I've never actually looked at it, so this is good for me too. And then you have references here and things that you can give them as references so they know, so Claude knows what you want. There it is. Okay. So like I said, it's a text file. And this is Visual Studio Code. I know you guys get intimidated, but it's just black background. So the description is very important and the name, because when I say captions, it's going to look at the name and it's going to know this is what I'm invoking. When you use a skill, it's called like invoking it. I kind of think of myself as a witch a little bit, like I'm putting like a spell when I'm invoking a skill. It's kind of weird like that, but it basically says like you're saying a word that will trigger Claude to know to go look for that skill. And it's usually based on kind of what you've named it. And so we'll know every time I say captions, it's going to know to look for, it's going to go look in that project folder at the files, and it's going to find those files. So captions, transcript to multi-channel content. You're Alice's content producer. She records original videos on Riverside, her own voice, not copying creators, edits, downloads a transcript, and pastes it to you. You turn that transcript into channel-ready posts in a fixed order with a hard approval gate on the hook. So yeah, I want to approve the hooks. I find the hooks very boring. I need to do a better job. So it references a few files. So that's why the skill is good, right? Because it's not giving you all the information in here. It references the files that Claude can go look it up if it needs to, so your context and your tokens don't get used up. So hook archetypes, I like contrarian, listicle, provocative, plus standards. This is my style. This is what I want. And the keyword-rich SEO checklist applied to every hook. References channel specs, exact per channel output specs, YouTube performance, what Alice's real YouTube analytics show works, apply its directives, title, description, and so on. YouTube description template, thumbnail references, right? Because I want a certain style. Then non-negotiable rules, no em dashes, no emojis, no fabricated, and so on. I am not gonna go in super detail. And then the flow, step 1, hooks. Always start with the hooks, then with the captions and hashtags. And so basically it's describing, you see what it is, right? That's the skill. It's running this process, this workflow, and it finishes with the thumbnail prompt. That's the last thing you saw exactly in Obsidian. So this is what a skill is. And depending when you're in the chat and you're talking to it, what you're trying to do, depending on the word you're using, it's going to know to pull it up or not. What is seamless with YouTube? The recording. Okay. Are there any skills you can copy? Yes. We'll talk about copying skills after this. So what is seamless with YouTube? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Minutes ago, you said such and such seamless with YouTube, and like, what? It got by me.
Oh, pulling data from YouTube. Pulling data from YouTube about your channel, transcripts from videos, like what other people are doing. It's free. It's easy if you have a Google account. Because it goes and it just like, for example, this is my YouTube channel and it's related to my, my Google account. They're all like, because Google owns YouTube. So because I'm using the same Google account as my Gmail and all of that, which is connected, it can go with the YouTube API and look at how many subscribers I have. Here, I'll show you in the Content Hub, actually. So this is the Content Hub, but let's go to YouTube first. And this Content Hub right now is kind of a Frankenstein. I need to simplify it. I'm just learning. I've been learning a lot about the process and what works for me. But for example, the weekly trend, this is all being pulled, like you don't need to pay for that. So for Instagram, for all of the others, you need a special API. It's called Apify. It's like a store for APIs. But for YouTube, you don't need that. For YouTube, as long as you have a Google account, it's going to connect directly and pull the data, the transcripts, everything.
How do you there? Are you going through your YouTube channel? Are you doing something? Are you applying something else to it?
What do you mean by applying something else to it?
Well, like Claude or something, or like a Google tool, Gemini. Like I
only use Claude. I only use Claude because everything is in Claude for me. And so I don't want to go outside of Claude, but maybe I'm not understanding the question.
I'm not knowing how to say it.
That's okay.
So I've had a channel for a while. They've added all kinds of features and they make it super confusing. Like certain things you can change in the studio, certain things, even though it seems like a content creator thing, you have to change it out. Anyhow, they have AI in there. So
yeah, they do.
What AI are you using to do the what is Content Hub? Is that like a thing?
So it's a dashboard. So it's a dashboard where I started originally with like a Content Hub with, I'll show you where I started, competitors. So this was my first beginning of the Content Hub. So I have the 4 channels. I have people that I follow. Let's start with YouTube. So these are some people like Duncan Rogoff, Automate AI Consulting, Sandy Lee, which you guys know, Sabrina's in here, Greg Eisenberg. So these are people I told it to go pull. These are people that I consider my competitors, whatever you want to call it. They're in my space, okay? I want to kind of copy what they're doing. So what I'm only pulling here, all I'm doing is I said, hey, take these like, I don't know, maybe 10 creators for YouTube. These are their channel links. Every week, I want to know what are the top performing posts for them on YouTube.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That's all I'm doing here. I'm not doing anything else.
Where does Content Hub live? Is it like a thing?
It's a website on my computer right now. I could make this like public. Right now, it just lives on my computer.
So, okay, you created it.
In Claude Code, yeah. I told Claude Code, create me a Content Hub so I can track all of these by channel, these different content creators. So I can copy, because Sabrina always said, and so this was the beginning. This was my beginning. And she's not the only one. I've heard other people saying, all we do is pull like content that's viral or doing well on LinkedIn, let's say as an example, and we just put out 3-4 pieces. So this is if you want to bulk create what's already working. So
gosh. Yeah, I get it now. Thank you. Thank you.
No, it's totally fine. It's a lot. Like content creation is an exhausting process if you want to automate it. It's already exhausting if you don't want to automate it. Automating it is a journey. It's a journey. It's not going to be a 1-month thing. This has been like 4 or 5 months I've been doing this, and it's evolving because I'm finding like what works for me, which channels are doing well, where do I want to focus my time. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I stumbled when I was learning Claude earlier this year. Still learning, obviously. I created a task, and at 8 a.m. it goes through my people in my world, and it comes back with, these are the hot ideas this week.
Yeah, so yes, exactly. That's another way, right? I even have here market news. I actually find, for like the talking head videos where you're like, there's a green screen behind you. This is great. Like this story, for example, 82% of women entrepreneurs already use AI daily, and basically they're seeing better results than the people who don't. So you can use like I said, my content hub is a little bit of a monster right now because I get inspiration from many things. And I don't want to just like copy everyone constantly. Like I don't want that to be the only thing I do. I still have my own personality. Yeah.
I
But
think the missing link was I didn't realize you had created that. So
oh yeah.
thank you.
For sure.
You.
Yeah. So
I'll
going
take
back
your
to the competitors, right? Like you can pull
Can I
them.
just ask a follow-up to that?
Sure.
What MCP server are you using to pull your YouTube data into your content, into the dashboard you just showed us? Is that like vidIQ, or what are you doing to get your data into the?
I literally told Claude, connect to my YouTube account because it already has my token, my API token for Google, right? Because again, it's the same as your Google. My Google Gmail is already connected to Claude. Claude can go in my email, it can, create drafts, it can do that already. So it's already authenticated on my Google account.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Is an extension of my Google account.
I didn't realize it was just using, so I've enabled it for Gmail and Google Drive, but I was looking for something specific to YouTube. But you're
No, you
saying
don't need anything specific.
You don't need to. Okay,
No.
thanks.
That's why I said it's seamless, because you don't need, like, if you want to, for example, there's an API called Google Maps API where you can go find businesses. That is separate. That you have to pay for. I've had my whole little adventure with them where I like racked up a bunch of fees. They were kind of like, it's their fault too. They should have stopped me, but they paid me back most of them, but that you have to pay for. YouTube is included in your Google connection. So that comes in naturally. So it's super easy. Every week it pulls my weekly trends. It's normal that I'm down. I haven't been posting because I was studying. I was like, I'm not gonna create content when I have to study. So totally normal. I'm like not doing well right now, which is fine. Then I can analyze my channel. You can see past 30 days. You can see your top content in the last 30 days. You can see this week my outliers. So this is interesting, and this is from Sandy Lee. So I highly recommend if if you're doing content and you're curious what works, this is cool because this basically outlier is basically saying on average does you get this many views and or whatever, something along those lines. But this video actually gave you 14 times the engagement or the views compared to your average video. So you can see which content is performing above average, because you can have old content, you can have newer content. Over time, of course, more people will see it, but on average, which one is doing better? So you can make more of that. And then the top outliers from creators I follow. So this one by Carl Balmer, for example, this guy's content, I'm not a fan. I'm going to remove him. It's always the same thing over and over again. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. You can see long form content versus short form that's doing well. So this is just for YouTube. And then what you can do from here is, let's say I want to select this one. It's like 28.9 times better than, this guy always has the same kind of shorts. And so I can say here, queue to make next. So it goes in the queue, or I can save it to my Obsidian and make it later if I want. Here is trending in my niche. I know there's a question, Mariah. I'll get to you in a minute. And here you have what's trending in short form. So you have me, you have the creators I choose to, compare myself to. And then you also have overall in my AI niche, what's doing well. So like, I don't follow these people, but if I'm curious, obviously laziest ways to make money with AI is not a surprise. Like making money with AI is definitely one of the top content trends right now. Go ahead, Mariah.
So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I'm seeing this, can you go back to the first slides that shows your process of okay, so Content Hub, and then Obsidian is, sorry, I'm just gonna screenshot that for myself. So Obsidian is holding all of the content that you're scraping, and then it's syncing to your Content Hub, or
no, the two don't talk. So because I started with the Content Hub and I realized, you know what, like that's nice, but I read a lot of articles. I do things outside of like, comparing myself to a bunch of other people that I find interesting, but I'm not going to produce like content all day, every day. So in Obsidian, what I've created, where is it? Content. Is this it? Make next. Here, for example, make next, AI for content review and creating prompts. So I can tell it, go in my Obsidian queue, this is my queue, and run captions on what's in the queue. So then it's going to do that. And then I have more content here. Right now it's a queue or like a backlog of content. But let's say I want to create this next. I would just copy paste this into make next because I have my own ideas, right? Like I don't want to just go copy people's content. So there's two ways of going about it. Either you start in the content hub, you choose something from there and you copy it, or you come here and you queue up something you want to create from scratch, as an example. I don't know if that helps. Like I know it's a lot to process right now. Like it's a lot of information. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, it's okay too, because it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm still currently piecing the whole content creation process together. I get Sabrina's copy, like
Yeah.
the first 10 seconds and the hook exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm watching other women in the group do it and their social channels becoming successful.
Yeah.
But also like almost all of them, not all of them have like backgrounds in speaking. Some of them don't. And I've watched some of the women get comfortable over time. You start
Yeah.
uncomfortably and then you kind of find your voice and become comfortable.
Mhm.
So I'm like 10 seconds away from starting this myself. Do you think having an offer first before content creation, or just start and then kind of
Start.
create a
Honestly, Mariah, I wish I had started a year ago just to start. Like, just start, because it's a
Just
learning
start.
process. It's such a learning process. There's so much goes into it. The offer like has nothing to
I
do.
said just
Yeah.
wait.
So, Mariah, what I would recommend for now, you're just starting, right? Like, this is too much. I got here after months. I didn't start with all of this. What I would highly suggest today is start with this very basic, like, this is what they're doing. And you can, yeah, someone's asking in the chat if you can pull transcripts. 100%. If I choose, let's say I go to YouTube here and I choose, let's pull something actually, spam, never ending spam. In Canada, we constantly get spammed. Let's say I take this is a good one, Sandy Lee, and then I say create YouTube batch. I can also actually post copy paste a URL here too. If there's something here, I'm like, no, I don't like any of these. I'm just gonna copy paste something that, I saw on YouTube. I can put it here and also create that way. So right now it's generating it.
I notice on YouTube a bunch of channels are no longer like have public transcripts available, or they're hidden, but the YouTube's AI, if you go to the chatbot underneath that person's and you just ask it for the full transcript, it will
give it to you. Yeah. YouTube transcripts are totally, like, you're right. Not every video is uploaded with a transcript, or like in a way that it's transcripted easily where you can necessarily like pull it directly. But I've never had a problem. Like, it will pull her YouTube like transcript pretty much, like maybe probably clean it up potentially, but it's going to pull it. It's definitely, so it's generating it. Yeah, it's queued up and it's going to generate it. So this is kind of how I've set it up in the beginning. I was like, okay, let's just see what's working for other people and then copy it because it's like the easiest. So Mariah, you're just starting, just do that. And I will say
I'm pretty familiar, like I'm pretty comfortable with Claude Code, and I'm coding. I'm in there almost every day. Pretty comfortable creating artifacts like this. This won't be a problem for me.
Yeah.
I have actually multiple YouTube channels. My problem is actually making content, which is funny.
Well, choose one. Choose one.
Yeah, I know. I need to choose one. And I would like to just start teaching this stuff, because what do I do with all this knowledge I've learned in the last year? So it's probably time. And my industry is I'm a real estate photographer. My industry is being completely attacked by AI at the moment. So it's time to start shifting a bit. And I think that AI consulting is a really strong option. And I've started sharing on socials a little bit about like how to do things. I've definitely started talking about AI a lot in the last 6 months. And so I think it's time to start jumping back into teaching on socials and back into a YouTube channel.
I love YouTube. It's my favorite of all the channels. Like, honestly, I feel the most like, and it's doing the best out of all my, starting from zero, socials is YouTube. Okay.
I have a little nugget for the realtor. Ask Claude how you can flip the script, and just ask Claude how to do that.
I agree. There's never no reason not to ask Claude. Maybe you won't like the answer, and that's fine, but you should definitely do that as well. But yeah, Mariah, just start. pick one. You either have your own content and focus on that. You don't need to compare yourself to other people. But if you do want to get like, the viral, especially the shorts are how people discover your long form. So you definitely need, every long form YouTube I have has at least 3 to 4 shorts. So that's usually how you like connect people to discover your long form content. AJ, do you offer one-on-one training? Sure. I mean, we can talk about after this about one-on-one training. Okay, we're not gonna have time to get super deep on any of this. I'm gonna be very upfront here, especially this like running, Remotion skills or hyperframes. These things take time, so I'm not gonna be able to show you here today how to do it. I will show you the outcome of what it looks like. As an example, it's not amazing, but I'm gonna give you enough here to get you going. And if you want to reach out to me on school or like on my socials, I would appreciate that. I also have a community that's free right now. If you want to join, up to you. I'm not telling you to do any of that, but realistically, we can go deep on any one of these within an hour. So, but I will show you like how to set up a skill like Remotion. Before I get into that, I do want to show you the Apify store. So this is where you get data from like LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, because those ones, like there's no API that we can access as individuals like there is on YouTube. That data is gated. Basically, Apify is like, think of it as like, utility. It's an aggregator of everyone who wants to use their data. Apify pays Meta, pays like LinkedIn and all of these companies. That's how they're making money. They're data companies, they're selling their data and people are consuming it. So that's why you need something like Apify. If you just want to update this content hub once a week, like I do on Friday mornings, you're not going to pay. That's fine. If you want to update it every single day, you want a laundry list of like 50 creators and 10 posts, then it's going to be payment time. But it's cool because it has so many different data stores. Like you can pull leads, you can pull like the Google Maps API, way better going through here than to actually go through Google Maps and pay them. You can pull Reddit. There's a lot, like this is Google Maps and so on. Like I have an apartment agent and it's accessing through Apify, like apartments.com, rentals.com, whatever is like to search for listings for apartments. It's going to go through Apify. So I just wanted to show you Apify just so you know it exists. If you need data that you can access without like this service, it's most likely here. If, Claude says, no, you can't do this, I don't have access to this, chances are it's probably on Apify if it exists.
And I want to add on, Alicia, right quick.
Sure.
Thank you for showing that. I went to Claude and I asked Claude to walk me through like a tutor, just kind of prompted and it literally explained to me and gave me a printout on what I need to do and how to use it. So yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you.
No worries. Like this, when I discovered Apify, I was like, this is like a gold mine. Like data is gold. Like I come from a data background. I love data. I love all of this. Like for me, this is the joy of working with AI tools, is that we get data that usually big enterprise companies have these kinds of tools. And now we can just create them for ourselves. Like we don't need to be in an agency. We don't need to pay an agency. We don't need to pay somebody else to do it for us. So lots of great data here. Highly recommend, if you're looking to scrape and do anything like with clean data and you can't find another way of doing it, you can start here. There's a lot more than this. This is just popular things. There's a lot more than that. They call them actors, but they're basically, these are just, there's even a school scraper. So any free school community, you can scrape. It has to be free though. It can't be gated. So if it's paid, you can. But like Sabrina's community, for example, you can scrape. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, let's get to, I do take shorts literally out from long form. Yeah, that's what I do as well, Diane. Yeah, Riverside breaks down shorts for you automatically. Where's the link? Okay, so let's get to the actual other ways of getting skills. So someone had a really good question. How do I create skills? Can I create them from somewhere else? Yes, you can. Let's go and talk about these two skills, Remotion and Hyperframes. So there's something magical that before vibe coding, none of us would have known about, called GitHub. And GitHub is a library for code and coding projects. So when people create their own skills, this is where they upload them. What you have to be really careful is that, think about this very clearly. When you install this skill, you're copying a folder structure. You have scripts, skills, README files. These are all this is going to be copied on your computer by Claude. You're going to copy this URL and you're going to say, Claude, install it first, review the skill. I know the skill is fine. I know it's not going to blow up my computer. Okay. Like I know that right now. It has 4,000 stars. Like it's fine. I can tell that. But this is like hygiene. You are downloading files on your computer that somebody else put on the internet. This is how we get viruses. This is how our program, shit hits the fan, as they say. So this is like amazing, but at the same time, just be very careful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this URL. You can also copy here, this green one. It's very, very convenient, and copy this link. Either way, it's going to work. Then you're going to go to Claude Code. I use Visual Studio Code, but you can go in the app. Let's close this. This is just another conversation that I'm going to open here. I'm going to say, I'm going to paste the URL, which I did not even pick up. Sorry, guys. Let's copy this. And I'm going to say review for safety, then install this skill. And ideally, you should also say the trigger. What triggers a skill? This is really important. If you're building agents, if you're building skills, Claude needs to know when to use it or why, when and why. So trigger it every time I want to animate a video. And that's it. You're going to enter. It's going to go read the files. Okay, I'll do it. It's already there, but I'll do it just for the sake of this. We're going to let this run in the background. And now I'm going to show you what an actual Remotion video looks like. Of course, you have to give permissions, right? Because you're changing things on your computer. So you have to give permissions, which is fine. Just going to do that so it can keep going. Okay, back to trying to find one of the example videos. We were probably going to go over like 15 minutes realistically, but I'm going to try to keep it.
Awesome. While you're searching, fun fact, there's a woman in our community. Her name is Diana, I think, and she's in Spain. And she made a skill to make sure your skills have no viruses.
That's awesome.
I know.
That
it's
is
really
awesome.
recent. I don't get to see everything every day, but like it's recent. It's there. Yeah. It might be in a recent like list of accomplishments too.
Like the wins. I love the wins. They're awesome.
Yeah. Her name is Diana, so not me, and she's in Spain. She's blonde.
We can look it up later, but you can create your own skills and you can put them on GitHub, by the way, because all the projects you actually work with in code, like if you are actually working in Claude Code and you still haven't connected to GitHub, please do. And please save.
Like, sell me.
I don't need to sell you. It's best practice. There's nothing to sell. This is what you should be doing. Because what the reason GitHub exists, and I'm trying to do 3 things at the same time, but I'll answer that first. The reason GitHub exists, think of it as a library of the most recent code that then you push to production. If you're building a website, by the way, for anyone who wants to build a website, you have no choice. You need a GitHub account. That's where the live code lives. That is like if you have an app somebody else is using, it has to be on GitHub. There's no other way. And then it gets pushed to wherever it needs to go. But it's like version control. Let's say you push, like Sabrina said, that one of her fails this week or last week was she pushed an update to her app, which lives on GitHub, by the way. When she said, I had an update to my app, it means she pushed new code to GitHub and she did something wrong. She didn't test it. She walked away. Her app was down. She was able to roll back to the previous version of her code that wasn't broken until she fixes it and she updates it again. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
So, okay, this is very like, okay.
This is great. I don't want to.
No, you're not derailing. This is really important, by the way. This is why these calls are really important. It's the most boring of all the things we're ever going to talk about, but it's the most important.
But why is it?
Lois, do you want to say something about GitHub? Go ahead. If you want to like help me explain it, feel free to jump in.
I was just going to add one tip. If you are pulling in skills from GitHub or from another colleague or something that you've gotten, I run a kind of monitoring like once a week that asks Claude to go in and make sure none of my skills are conflicting or that it doesn't understand from the description of which skill it should be pulling in, and to flag those and help me make them more distinct or flag the conflicting part.
Well, whenever you work with Claude, over time, your architecture is going to, you're going to add, I have a bajillions of skills. I have like 100 and something skills. Do I remember all of them? No. But halfway through my experience with Claude, I was like, okay, I need to go back and think back. And I asked Claude to review my skills. And the most important thing I asked it is to make sure that they're sitting at the right place in the hierarchy of my folders and projects, because there are skills that you can use across all projects. For example, someone has ADHD. There is an ADHD skill. That skill is about how Claude communicates with you, about keeping it simple, not too verbose. That skill will live across all of my Claude projects because that is how I want Claude to always communicate with me. Now, a skill like Remotion, which is about editing video, like motion graphics, that doesn't need to live in every project I have because I'm not going to use it. that lives in the project about content creation. So you have to think about these things once you start getting deep. Like right now, if you're just running one project, you're just building a website, you don't need to worry about it. But let's say you get deeper than that, you have multiple projects, go back and ask Claude to re-architecture everything for you based on what's the best way to use skills based on how you're using it. It should know you enough. Okay. So I'm going to kind of like, we're almost at time. I still want to show you like Remotion and Hyperframes. So Claude went through a whole here, read the files, installed them, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to go into details. It's not fun. It's verdict, save to install. It's the official Remotion org repo. So it's Remotion is an actual like, organization. It's not some random person. So it goes over it, like make sure everything is safe. There's no like security risk. And then it says 2 things worth flagging. I already have it, because I have it. The skills instruct running. I'm going to, by the way, clean it up after, but it doesn't matter. And so what did I install? And most importantly, the auto trigger. So this has to be very clear when you use it. Rewrote the router's description because description is how Claude knows when to use the skill. So animate a video matches even without the word Remotion. You can see it took effect in the skill list above. That's an example, but you can add in more triggers. You can be like, if I say XYZ, trigger the skill. So again, it's just a text file. Keep just every time you think of Claude, it's just a bunch of text files. That's why it can read Obsidian, because it's a text file repo. Like it's basically a place where you put a bunch of text, and Claude is really good at reading text and connecting. Okay, so let me actually show you what this looks like. Example, you can make these many different kinds, but yeah. That's what it's doing. It's like, okay, at 10 seconds, do this. At 15 seconds, do that. At 30 seconds, show this. Make it this color. And you have to create like a template. The goal is to create a template of these like overlays, when they should come in, when even I want Claude to analyze the video and transcript and be like, yeah, I shouldn't have to tell it when to put, certain call outs. I wanted to figure out when I want the call outs and create a skill from it. And that way it zooms in and out. It creates basically all of the movement in the video. So you kind of see what it does. So the best way to do that is like give it examples of what you want the formatting to look like. Like this could look many different things. Usually what's out of the box is really basic. So I went and I found like videos that I like, and I just took screenshots and said, okay, use this style and you can figure out which style you like. You can experiment and see what you actually like. Okay. But you see what it is. That's Remotion. Now I want to show you Hyperframes. You would install Hyperframes exactly the same way I installed Remotion. HeyGen, Hyperframes. Okay, this is the Remotion one. Okay, so I've shared those. That's good. Let me show you what the Hyperframes one looks like. That one is more for like text slides. It's not for, and I'm not like, I just started experimenting with it, so don't expect much. First, I have to find it. What a mess. Let's hope this one is a good one. And this is not the final version, by the way. This is just to show you. You see how it messed up here? I haven't edited or anything. This is just like the first time I did it.
And I'm sorry, what is this one? What's the name?
Hyperframes.
Okay, thank you.
Hyperframes is from HeyGen. The HeyGen are the ones I think they do the avatars. So that one comes from them. So yeah, okay. So there's many ways. And again, you can give it examples of other like formats that you like, but it creates the, the movement, the things coming in and out. And again, you can tell it how you want it. Let me show you another one. I have another one here. I did a bunch because Sabrina had 4 prompts. I highly recommend if you're going to use HeyGen, she has a really great like post. I think I started because I wanted to go back to the prompts. Hyperframes tutorial, there we go. So if you want to play around, like she has a bunch of prompts here, you can play around with them to start. So I'm just going to put this also in the chat. Did you make an LLC for content creation? How you keep the time? Any advice that you wish to know in the beginning? Thank you. I don't know if I'll have time to go through all of this. The advice from the beginning is start simple and add. Learn and add. The advice with AI is always the same. Start with a real problem, solve it, iterate, learn, adjust, learn, adjust. I don't know if I'm ever going to be done with my process, but maybe I'll be like 99%. Okay, so I gave you guys all the resources. You see what they are. Again, start with examples of what you want it to look like. Don't trust Claude to come up with something that looks good. It's most likely not. Okay, I think there was another question someone asked about GitHub and websites. Okay, so let's talk about websites. For those of you who haven't created a website, if you want to create a proper website, this is the flow. I just have to find, I had it somewhere here. This is the flow. So you start with Claude Code. This is where you give it your requirements. You can download, it's called the skill called the front end design skill. I don't like it because it looks like every other website out there, but I'll I'll put it out there for you to know, front-end design skill. And it's part of the Claude GitHub package. So on GitHub, there's a whole package of Claude skills that you can download from Anthropic. Anthropic's UC, it's Anthropic, Claude Code. So there's a whole bunch of skills in here for Claude Code, and one of them is called front-end design. And that one is like the most basic one, but where you're gonna end up with is the most basic like Claude website. I'll show you a website I did in the beginning that I haven't touched. That is done with my book, and I haven't touched this. Like this is straight out of like Claude without like my business website, which also I created with Claude. You'll see it looks so much different. Like this is also all created with Claude, but you see how different it looks compared to like my book website, which I haven't. This is just done with the front end design skill. The only thing that I chose is obviously like this is my book has its own type font, so I gave it that. But other than that, it looks like a very standard, like actually it's nicer than a standard Claude website. There's much worse. But this is kind of like what it's going to look like out of the box or even worse. And then you want to like make it your own as much as possible. So what I really recommend if you're working and you want to create a website, go to Dribbble, and you don't want a website that looks like every other website. And for example, when I was creating my author website that you just saw, which is probably why it doesn't look as basic as it otherwise would, I came here and I looked up an author website and I said, let's pick something that I actually like. Let's say this is pretty cool. This is very me, and it's a book. Like, look at how beautiful this looks. Claude will never out of the box create anything close to this. But if you come here, you screenshot it. I mean, I would say screenshot more than this. It's going to create something similar. So screenshots, giving examples to Claude, game changer. Okay, so that's one thing. Now going back to how you actually build a website. So you give Claude Code the requirements, you do your research, you break down your website, your copy, all of that. You can start in ChatGPT, because I prefer ChatGPT for copy personally, and for like marketing, it's more creative. And so I created my requirements there. You can collaborate between Claude and ChatGPT. It doesn't matter. You create your requirements, you put them in a document. You create a project that is based in a folder where this document is. I'm not going to show you mine because mine is a mess. It's not going to be helpful because I just added so much to it. It's going to just confuse you. All I'm saying, a Word file, a Google Drive file, it doesn't matter where it is. You start with requirements. This is super important. Screenshots, images, other websites you like, or websites that are really good. You can even get Claude to analyze websites you like and be like, I want to make something similar, but for me, how would I do that? Same with ChatGPT, you can ask both. Then you build it in Claude. You have the requirements, you tell Claude, okay, now build me the website. The website is just like my content hub. It's gonna live on my computer. If I wanted to tomorrow share this website with you guys, I can just go to Claude and say, now push it to GitHub and to production. And now it will have a URL that's nice and beautiful, not like messy like this, and I'll be able to share it with you. But right now it's just living on my computer. It's not on GitHub. It's just here because I'm not trying to share it with anyone. So you're going to work on your website on your computer until you are like 99% done. You're ready to go. At that point, you're going to push it to GitHub. Okay. That's where the code has to live. We have something in IT called production. Right now, this is not in production. This Content Hub, sorry, I just have so many tabs. This is not in production because you guys cannot access it. Only I can access it. I can play around, I can test, I can change, I can break. Nobody cares. But the moment I push it to production, it's live. People are using it. When you're using Blotato, it's in production. It's live and direct, you're using it. When Sabrina is changing something about Blotato or making it better, she's in her test. It's called sandbox. It's like a kid. You're playing, you're testing, you've tested, you're happy, and now you're pushing it live to production. So that's when it will have a real website that people can actually access. And I'm just going to finish before I get into questions. So GitHub is where the live code lives, auto deploy on push. Okay. And Claude is not going to push to GitHub until you tell it. You have to say, Claude, push this to GitHub or commit this to GitHub, source control and collaboration. Like if you have people you want to share code with, like if you're in an organization or a team, that is why you need GitHub, because the skills, they can't live on your computer. They have to live in a shared library. It could be in a Google Drive too, not ideal, but GitHub is truly meant for that. So take your time. It's not like, don't worry about not understanding 100% what it does. The point is, that's what code that people can share and use and actually like go live with and people use their apps lives. And if something breaks, you want to roll back, that is where GitHub, just like a book, think about it. You can have many versions of a book. It's the same. We lost the latest version of the book. Well, we have the last version of the book, so that's fine. We could just go back to that one until we find the newest. I don't know if I can explain it better right now. Then it's a website. Think about it. You need a domain. The domain doesn't live in Claude Code. The domain needs to live somewhere. That URL, smallbusinessaicoach.com that I have, that needs to live somewhere. I bought it from GoDaddy, but it doesn't live in GoDaddy. When you're using Wix or you're using, I don't know, WordPress, it lives there. But we're not using Wix and WordPress. So where does it live? It doesn't live in Claude Code. It lives on something called Vercel. And I don't want the question of what is Vercel. Just Google it. I'm not an expert on what Vercel is. I just know that's where the domain lives. When I update my website, that's the code. GitHub pushes the code to Vercel, and that's it. It's free. All of this is free, by the way, like except Claude Code, obviously. GitHub is free. Vercel is free. And then it's live. That's it. So every time I have a blog post, I start in Claude Code. Because part of like my, my content process, I can also create a blog post. I can be like, okay, from this one, I want you to create a blog post now. It's going to create it. It's going to push it to GitHub, then to Vercel, and then it's going to be like on my website. So that's always how it works for websites. And you can also use Cloudflare, by the way. Cloudflare is another option for Vercel.
I'm using Namecheap to buy the URL, and then Google Firebase hosting to host it, as well as storage and authentication. Do you recommend that over, what was the other one that goes down all the time? Cloudflare for
I hate Cloudflare
authentication?
personally. I don't have any feelings about Cloudflare as like a deployment platform. I don't know anything about it. I started with Vercel from day one. I have zero like issues with Vercel. It's seamless. I barely spend time in it. Every once in a while, like in the beginning, you just have to set some like, API variables and things. But once you set it up in the beginning, like I never almost go there. So I honestly wouldn't I don't have an opinion about anything else. Vercel is great. Most coders use it. There's no reason for me to go look for anything else, but I'm sure that if you look up reviews and stuff or Reddit, people have opinions and they're more informed than me because I don't have an opinion on anything else.
But so GitHub's not necessarily hosting your website.
No. Sorry. Maybe I misunderstood. Sorry. What was the GitHub question? I thought it was a Vercel question.
GitHub is not hosting your website, but it is backing up your code base.
Correct.
And you can make that private. You can make it private or you can make it public.
Correct.
And if it's public, it's discoverable.
Correct.
Kind of like social media for code. But if it's private, then it's like your own code and it's just a place to back up your projects.
Well, my website is private, right? Like you can't go and find my website on GitHub. Like the code for my website is private. It's things like the skills that people choose to make public. Like you said, it's exactly what you said. Like think of Microsoft. Microsoft, by the way, now owns GitHub. GitHub wasn't a Microsoft product, but now it is. Microsoft's code is all on GitHub. Do we have access to it? Absolutely not.
Right.
So think like all code that is live and direct and we're using the apps, it's on GitHub. But we are, like you said, there's public and private. Probably most of it is private. Again, I'm not an expert on GitHub. I just know it exists and why it exists. But yes, to your point, you can make public, like you can create skills and put them on GitHub and people can download them. Like you said, the woman in Spain did. So
what do you recommend for the quickest, easiest way to publish a artifact that Claude created?
Well, the fastest way is through artifacts in the desktop app, probably. I personally don't publish a lot of artifacts because I'm not sure 100% on their like security and stuff. I don't know actually, but it's very rare that I publish artifacts. But yeah, it would be through here. I would go through artifacts here.
So ideally, you would just take that artifact into Claude Code, rebuild it, and then connect it to a domain through a hosting site.
If I wanted to like have it, if I'm on my computer, let's say I'm on my phone and I want to go find information, like if I wanted this content hub on the go and I wanted to like look at it on my phone, then I would create a domain. Like I can use my small business AI coach / dashboard. Only I know about it. No one else is going to find it. And then I can access it from my phone, let's say. Right now, I don't have that use case, but yeah, that's what I would do. If it's something like the content hub, then I would just create a URL from my already like domain, smallbusinessaicoach.com /dashboard. And I would be using that still. If it's something to share with someone in the moment, like an analysis, like for example, I did this really fast analysis when I run an ad campaign. Let's say I wanted to share it with someone. I would do it here. It's faster, easier. But if it's something that is an ongoing product that I'm going to keep using all the time, it's not a one-time thing, then I would just, yeah, I would push it to GitHub and all of that jazz.
The least techie person on the planet is how I described myself last year. And then I was finishing up a script with Fable like a month ago, and I'm like, can you build me an app? We did. It's been through like 40 hours of iteration. So I publish it on my website. It's not quite a WP or PA, whatever yet, but it is like the final version of one of them. So I can publish on my website. But if I didn't have a website, there was a place there where it's Apify.
Apify, I've heard of it. But
Yeah. So you can publish something there, but I really want it published on my website. And the first one is going to be free. It was a brilliant idea. It was so fun at first, and it was like went through a lot. I learned a lot in the process. So yeah, you can publish. It turns out that is an artifact, and it will be published on my website. But if I didn't have a website, I could use Apify, however you say that.
Yes. But I mean, there's no reason why it can be on your website unless it's something maybe with security that you're worried about. But you have a GitHub integration here in the desktop app as well. So I always use Visual Studio Code just because it's so much more seamless and faster. I really like it because I know people like at first get intimidated, but I can see all the files right here. Like this for me has so much value. Like maybe not for this folder because this is such a small project. It's just one agent that does one thing every day. But for a bigger project, being able to get through here and go through the files and know what's there, like the assets, the images, the things that you're referencing has for me a lot of value. And in part, that's why people are using Obsidian because I can go through here, right? And I can see what's going on. But in the Claude desktop app, it's all right. Like you can see what the files are, but you don't really see what's in the folder. So visually, that's why I never use it. But it has the GitHub integration. You can connect with GitHub and you can push things to GitHub through here. I could probably push this June 3rd webinar campaign as a, from my website as well if I wanted to, but it's just so much easier because it's a one-time thing if I wanted to share it here. I think it's either way. You can reference this on your website as a link, right? Because it has a link. If I click on it, this is the link. So let's say you wanted to reference this URL on your website, you can do that. But yeah, I just haven't had a use case to do that, but you can, I think, if you want to. You just ask Claude. Just ask Claude. I think that was the short answer. Just ask Claude.
Super helpful because, I use Squarespace and WordPress to host my websites, but it never occurred to me to try something else. And so I wonder what's the cost of it? Like I pay $400 for each website for hosting per year.
There's no cost for hosting. I said, Vercel is free. Vercel is free. GitHub is free. I haven't paid anything except for Claude Code, obviously my subscription.
Wow. Okay. That's okay. That's so new.
Yeah. The whole stack I showed you. Oh man, this keeps. Sorry, I kept meaning to write Vercel and it keeps changing it to verbal in the chat. Anyway, whatever the case, it's free. Everything I've shown you, except for Claude, obviously, creating the website for you is free. Marcy, which link do you want in the chat? Are you using your personal email for GitHub? Yeah, I'm using my personal email for GitHub. Right now, I don't have a business email. I just have my personal email so far. Yeah, in GitHub, just ask a Claude to create a new repo or give you instructions, 100%. Stores your website's code, Okay. Does the website show up on SEO? Great question, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you for an amazing question. Okay, the website does not show up on SEO and Google indexing until you set it up properly, okay? If you want proper Google SEO, like I was actually just with a friend who, he got some, I love engineers, but I mean, they're engineers. They're not thinking about the business side. So he had some engineer, create him a Claude website, which an engineer can do a lot more than that. All of us could create a Claude website, but he has nothing in Google Analytics, nothing is SEO. We looked up his website. It wasn't even on the first 4 pages. And I was like, yeah, because you haven't done any SEO. So Claude is not going to do anything for you until you ask it to do SEO. And then you're going to have to go and make sure that it's set up in your Google Analytics account and that the main pages are indexed. And only then is your website going to start showing up over time in results.
Okay, I was going to sit on my question, but in case Tracy's answer wasn't for me and I'm not really sure I didn't get a chance to click yet. So Sabrina did this amazing live last Friday while I was at work. I've listened to it 3 times since. And she kept saying, look at my newsletter, because there was something in the newsletter that she didn't actually put in there. And I'm like trying to find her newsletter. I'm subscribed to her Substack. I'm not finding it. Tracy may have sent me the link, but I was too busy soaking up everything you had to say to
No
go there.
worries. I don't know if
Does
you have the
anyone know
link.
where that, like when Sabrina says, look at my newsletter that's coming out tomorrow during a Friday live. So Claude couldn't find it either. I'm
So do you
subscribed
know
to
what
this.
it's about? What was it about? Sorry, I
Yes,
can
it's
look up in
about,
my
it's about,
inbox.
that's why I'm jumping in. It's about AEO and SEO. Like it's all about like how to nail this. And so I keep going through and like implementing things one by one. There's so much in there. It was like almost 2 hours long. It's amazing.
To be honest, I get a lot of AEO, Geo, and SEO content from Neil Patel. I haven't seen anything from Sabrina. She might not have sent it out yet. I get her Substack, I get her newsletters, which is why I got the HeyGen stuff, the hyperframes. So she might not have just done it yet.
There
We
is
can also
Substack.
have, yeah.
Does she have a newsletter that's different than her Substack? Is Substack
don't-
even a newsletter?
Okay,
That
then I
was
don't have it.
though. The Substack link, it comes from our newsletter.
Is the newsletter separate from Substack? Is there a newsletter and a Substack?
I think they're the
the-
same. I think they're one and the same.
Yeah,
Substack is
Okay.
the newsletter.
Thank you.
I honestly think it's a matter of time. I think she might not have had time to like send it out yet because I haven't seen it, and I get her newsletters and I usually read them.
Yes, her newsletter. Her newsletter is her email. She sends it to like my Gmail because I'm looking
Yeah.
at one now. And I think you're
Yes.
correct. 'Cause the last one I received 8 hours ago is about AI for lawyers. But let me check again and
Yes,
see.
I got that one. I
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
that.
Saturday, I put it in chat.
Mary Carroll is saying she sends it out on Saturday after her live. That's right. That's true. So maybe
Carol,
this Saturday
like-
coming up. I don't know.
Last Friday was about AEO and SEO, and she just was like,
Yeah,
gem
that's
after
the
gem
one
after
I shared.
gem.
It's the
You
one I
shared
shared.
it? Okay, perfect.
right.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up?
Who's asking that? I can send her I can forward her the email
Sure.
if you need it. 'Cause I have it. I'm looking at it now on my Gmail. Can you
Well, I
put your,
guess I missed
your
it.
email on the chat so I can just copy it and I'll forward it to you?
And feel free to follow me on YouTube. I'm gonna just be like, please do, because AJ, yes, let me show you where the recording is going to be. You're gonna have access. So if you go to school, Women AI, classroom, I'm pretty sure this one is because one of the some of the ones were not being recorded. Oh, it's here. So I did put this last time. The last one didn't record. So I'm just gonna create a page here, and then what I'll do once I create it and upload it here, I'll reference it in the community if people want to go back. Because I didn't record the co-work one last time, unfortunately. It was a good session, but Zoom is because of all the note takers, they're recording. So I think it's recording, but it's not. It's the note takers recording. I don't like the note takers. But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna create a page here. I'm gonna reference it in the community. I will upload the video here.
Did you say that you have your own community as well?
Yeah, I'm starting my own community. I've literally just started it. So if you want to, I'll reference it. It's free.
Yes, I want to click on it.
I'm gonna just go on. I'm curious. Like I shared it with someone yesterday, and they were having like a timeout or something, a maintenance thing, and I'm like, how? Like it's working for me. How did they? I don't know. But yes, please join my community. Reach out to me on school. Either way, here, like feel free to chat if you need to like ask me questions. Do it in the community, even better. I'd love to like, actually build up the content in there, but it doesn't matter. And then if you can support my YouTube, it's my favorite channel. I'm not gonna push Instagram or anything on people. I don't even like Instagram, but I do love YouTube. So if you want to join my YouTube, it's amazing. Here's the link. I didn't even put it in the chat. I'm so bad at this, honestly. I'm really bad at promote. Oh, I did put it in the chat. Sorry. Okay, everything's there. So yes. Any other questions before we wrap up? If anyone actually finds this useful, I can put this like live. I can make this live and I can share it with people. I don't mind. It's just that I don't need to do it for myself. So that's why I haven't pushed it to like share. But
Yes, that'll be
if you guys
helpful.
find this useful, like there's a lot more here. I didn't go through all of this, but there's a lot more here. And so I can just push it. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it live and I'm gonna put it in school with the YouTube video. Oh, sorry, with the Zoom recording.
Perfect. Yeah, I would love to read through that. I think this is a sore point for so many people. It's content creation is like the gateway, right, to success.
It is.
And it's like I would say it's the major sore point for most of us.
I agree. I agree too. And for me, it's still a sore point, right? Like I spent all this time on it, but it's just so much learning and I'm going to keep working on it. Like I'm going to get Blotato. Now I'm like, okay, I just need to get Blotato. I just need to push like 3 pieces of content a day.
And you know what, Alice, just to let you know, I'm creating a curriculum, right? And content creator is going to be one of my curriculum. I'm creating through Perplexity Research, and then I'll throw it into LM. And Arizona State is getting ready to open up their program. I have two master's degree. I'm not giving Department of Education any more money, getting any more debt. So with your training, your videos, and pulling the curriculum, I'm building my own curriculum and become my own content creation. That's the route I'm going.
I love it. I love it. Honestly, Diane, sorry, Sheila, I'm sorry, I mixed you up with Diane. It's the future, right? Like people are losing their jobs left, right, and center. We're all gonna become like our own bosses essentially. Like we're ahead of the game. So love it. I love it. And I did a presentation, exactly this presentation to students in marketing in York University last week, and they loved it. They have no idea, what AI can do. And they're at the right time to actually start from the beginning. They were like, where should I start? I'm like, Claude Code. Like, don't ask me any more questions. Claude Code. Thank you, Mary Carol. Aw, you're so sweet. She's also part of our the exam pod. So appreciate you, Mary Carol. Always such a great energy. So yeah, I think content creation is like the future and nailing it down now. And it's only going to get easier, by the way. So it's only going to get easier because these skills like Remotion, for example, and Hyperframes, they weren't even around like a few months ago, or the version of Remotion that was around was way clunkier. They keep updating it. So when it went through GitHub, it compared, okay, you already have it on your computer. This is a new version. I'm going to update it. So it's actually not bad that I installed it again, but it's only going to get better. I think this is like, we're in the beginning of the wave. So I love that, Sheila, and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, everyone. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate you so much. Anything you want to ask me for next month, I'm going to do agents. So this was part of the exam that I did. And honestly, agents are like, it's so scary. Someone told me that recruiters are using agents, and I shit my pants. I was like, no bueno. This is not good. Agents are not like, I see so many people talking about agents.
It's worse than that. Have you seen the information about corporations? A ton of corporations using like one of 3 AI companies that rates your resume, and then it keeps the score on your resume, so you never pass through to the next application process.
Wow.
So there are states that want to start banning this, or there's one state that already banned it.
Good.
Yeah, because it's not a fair application process for anybody.
It's not a real application. You're just at the end, it's going to be just like agents talking to agents. So like, what is this?
Right.
What is the point of recruiting? If it's agents talking to agents, then the recruitment process is pointless. Why do I even need a recruiter? I'm just going to build my own agent to do my recruiting. Why do I even need you? Anyway, my point is I'm going to talk about agents because I learned a lot during the exam. Agents are not always the right answer. I just see a lot of hype about agents, and I'm like, and also setting up an agent well is not easy. Like you really need to understand the architecture of how an agent should be set up and why you should use it compared to, other options. So I'm going to do it in a month. That's going to be the content. But for today I thought you guys were going to be bored because Sabrina does so much content creation content that I was like, maybe this is just going to be redundant.
No, don't think about that, Alicia. Just to you're talking. Go ahead.
Julia, go ahead. Yeah.
No, just wanted to say thank you. This was not too much. It was so valuable, and thank you. Love
Okay,
your
good.
stuff.
I was like, Sabrina's the goat. What am I going to teach you?
No, it's not that. Don't think of it like that. It's a smaller group. So continue, and when you get this idea, take it out of your brain. Someone else is actually learning, teaching.
I told myself we all have a lot of things to do and I don't want to waste your time. So I just want to share one last thing with you guys before I let you go because I did find it very useful.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are.